Yeah, that's
I'm
the
ready.
Facebook one. That's the YouTube one. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Update Live, I guess. That's what we're here to talk to you about. We kind of done these live streams for a couple of years. We've done the content exploration sessions, but this year we're going to do have just a monthly live stream where we talk about kind of the top stories and things like that, things that matter to us, things that are fun for us, and all that good stuff. So yay, this is the first official Digital Update Live stream. So Dave's going to kind of moderate this because he's the author and the curator here of the Britton Digital Update that we publish a couple of times a month. So let's jump into it.
You're up.
Let's jump into it, right?
Hey!
Should we do introductions first?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn apparently. I'm Ashley, AJ, whatever you want to call me. I do digital copywriting content things here, like proofing Dave's digital update that he authored. I did that, so.
It's a lot of work. Sorry about that.
It was a lot of work, but that's all right.
Yeah. I'm Dave. I am the author of the Britton Digital Update and the Britton Digital Update podcast.
There you go.
And you may remember me from such live streams as content exploration session numbers 11 and 12. And I'm a strategist and analyst.
And my name is Nick. I'm a UX strategist here, content strategist at Britton. We are a creative design, consumer goods focused, lifestyle driven marketing agency. So welcome if you are not aware of us, but we're going to take it away here. Get started.
If you are aware of us, welcome as well.
Let's get into
Thanks for coming
the
back.
meat of things. So 5 stories that matter.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
About 2 weeks ago, almost exactly, Facebook announced their friends and family update. So that was really them saying, we're changing the news feed and we're going to show you more posts that matter. And it's really kind of fascinating. I myself have both ends of the spectrum right now because on my desktop, on my laptop, I have Facebook that only shows me friends and family, and on my phone, I see all the posts from brands. So I kind of see the before and after, and it's really a huge difference. Like, there's a lot more interaction and conversation happening on the friends and family feed than in the feed that you might still have for your Facebook, and I see almost nothing from brands, like zero, which is scary if you are a brand because you need to find a way to get your content seen. Mm-hmm. But the one way I do see content is if it is somebody that shares a brand's content. So like one of my friends or family members that shares content. So it's really one way to get stuff out there. But in this week's Digital Update blog, we cover some do's and don'ts of things that you can do to help kind of combat this change that either is already here or is coming, depending on if you've gotten that update or not. Facebook is rolling that out over a couple of weeks. So some things that you can do. Continue to post organically would be one. Mm-hmm. There's like a lot of people that are giving really bad advice on the internet right now, saying, throw out your content calendar. You don't need that. You don't need to post organically because but that's a really bad idea.
Well, especially if you think about it from, a search engine ranking perspective of, Google, the algorithms in Google and Bing and other search engines, are constantly indexing what brands are posting on social channels because, theoretically, if you're a good steward of your brand on social, it's a very active channel for you. So it's still a relevant tool to, build thought leadership around products, keywords, services, that type of thing. So, maybe it's not getting the organic reach that it once did, but that doesn't mean that it's any less important from a content standpoint.
Right.
It's still part of the SEO social signals that even it's viable, we all know that there's a correlation between a healthy social universe and how you rank on search engines. So, and then there's a whole Facebook open graph and how that plays into it as well. So.
Right, and if somebody comes to your page because they've found out about you, they've seen some of your content, so a person shares your content and it gets reach, somebody comes to your page, you're still building up credibility, you're building up trust. There's still reasons to have that organic post on there versus, well, let's just throw it all out the window so the last thing you posted was back in September. That doesn't really make sense. That makes you look like you're not active. and actually is a negative impression.
And I think one of the points that you have coming up is, because I proofed the update, I know, is that you should be supporting some of your organic efforts with a paid effort as well, a paid component. I know I'm jumping a little bit, but I think it's worth mentioning that you can use the organic posts as kind of a trial run for some of your paid content. See what's resonating with people. Post it out there. Think about things you would like to change if you were going to throw some ad dollars behind that. It's still a kind of a viable A/B testing format too.
It doesn't really take a whole lot of budget to get some content out there. I mean, for $10, $20, $30, you can promote a piece of content or boost a post or do ads to get people to see your content. So it doesn't require a lot of money, and then you can find out what works, and then if you have a bigger initiative and a bigger budget, then you can put your bigger dollars behind that.
Right.
So engaging posts are probably pretty important too in an era where Facebook is asking for conversation.
Yeah, I think the funny part about this is that last year and maybe the year before that, Facebook was all about let's give these publishers guidelines and let's give emphasis to publishers and content and see how that plays into our platform. And now in 2018, it's the complete opposite. Facebook is trying to go back to more of that community feel and just kind of paring everything down. And obviously, without getting political or anything, there's been some ramifications in the last year of the sentiment of how people use Facebook and how prevalent that's been in the past year. And that's certainly informing this new strategy.
Really? Has there been some misuse?
I think so. I think so.
Huh. Maybe I should brush up on some old Britton digital updates.
Yes, you should.
That I wrote. So another thing you can do is video. Even though they're changing the feed, video is still one of the highest performing content types on Facebook. Live video is still one of the highest performing content types on Facebook, and it's going to continue to be, partially because they can run a commercial if your video is long enough. So they can earn their money, and it's engaging, and they want people to have conversations in the comments below. So have some conversations. So there's comments below.
Yeah, I feel like there's Brady Bunch here going on, like
on the Facebook, and then YouTube. Hi.
Yeah.
But you want to create those conversations not just between the brand and the user, but between the users themselves. Is really what Facebook has said. If you read their announcement, they really kind of lay out step by step what they're looking for. So that's really where your strategy should lie. I think influencers, because of that, can also be another way to get content reach because they are usually people versus a brand, and they spur a lot of conversation because they have some passionate followers. So, what about story number 2?
Number 2.
That's right. We're talking about Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
So, are trends or changes coming to Facebook Messenger as well? The answer is kind of. It's getting updated. It's getting simplified. The guy that runs Messenger, his name is David Marcus, and we're old buds.
Okay.
Not really. Never met him. But why are you smirking?
Anyway.
So, they're going to simplify Messenger because it's gotten too complicated. They've added a lot of features over the last year or so, and it's really just been convoluted. So they're going to simplify things. They're going to, again, encourage conversation, which is important on a messaging app, because a messaging app with no conversation is just an app. And they're going to talk about more video on Messenger as well, group chat, group video chat. They're going to talk about customer service and how brands can get involved in customer service.
Okay, that's a good. So last year when we sat here probably, or sat somewhere, we were probably talking about Facebook Messenger and chatbots. Now chatbots, to me, they have a place, but in general terms, I would say 90% of chatbots are a waste of time. They're just intrusive, and they don't do what you're supposed to do. They're not built on user wants and needs and things like that. So is there a de-emphasis on chatbots when it comes to these kind of messenger apps?
I think that they're trying to make them more effective, try to make them, because they're using AI now more often, and machine learning to try to find ways to make them more conversational, more human-like. I think for smaller tasks like where can I pay my bill or how can I follow up on an order, things like that, chatbots can be effective, but you also need that human interaction. There's only so much that a user's going to put up with not getting the exact answer they want or fighting with them. It's like being in voicemail hell or automated hell where you just can't, you're just going in circles and, you know, you just want to hit 0 and talk to somebody. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot more changes, I think, that they'll unveil in 2018 in Messenger. Ads are going to become bigger as well on Messenger. I'm sure nobody's looking forward to that.
Right.
Because that's not why we're using Messenger. We're using it to talk. But, so more changes there.
Okay.
Number 3, Amazon Go.
It's open.
It is. It is. It did open.
The lines were long, apparently.
Well, that's the thing. The whole store was designed to be a store without the annoying checkout lines. A store where you didn't, you know, you could go in and you can pick up the items off the shelf. You didn't have to stand in line and pay for things. You just walk out and it charges you, and it's very simple and there's no lines, no annoying store stuff. But everybody wanted to check out this cool concept, so there was literally a line around the block for the store with no lines. But it's pretty cool how it works. You have to have an app just to get in the store, like a little QR code, and you scan it on a machine, and the doors open, and then you have to hear that music because it's a cool new store, and I don't know if they can tailor that, personalize the music or not. Like if you would hear different music.
Well, you said that they let in a handful of people at a time.
Yeah,
so
originally
there was a line. It's not like a mass influx of people. It's to do experience control,
right.
Make sure that nobody's doing something naughty in there.
Originally, when
like
taking the cheese out of the package and putting
and
it back,
sampling it, or licking all the
sandwiches,
produce, or I don't know. But
so
you guys grocery shop differently than I do, but
and we go to the same Kroger, so don't go to our Kroger.
Avoid the eggplant. So anyways, that's what took so long for the store to open. It was, they had announced this concept a year ago, but they have all these cameras and sensors that track you around and see when you're picking stuff off the shelf. So, does it charge you for it or not charge you for it? If you put it back, does it has to come off your bill? But what took so long is they needed to figure out how they could do it with more than like 10 or 15 people. So they've really improved the technology, but there is still a lot of demand to get into the store that's only a week old. But it is pretty cool. A lot of people say, like, is this the future of grocery? But there's a lot of other kind of cool technology going on. Kroger's trying a lot of new things as well. They're doing this scan and go app, which is cool because you scan the items as you put them in your cart, and then you just pay it. Well, you pay at the self-checkout instead of having to scan everything, so it's quicker. Eventually, you'll be able to just walk out like Amazon Go. They're also doing digital shelves, where the little strip at the end of the shelf that has the price tag, you'll be able to have like digital information there. So it'll be digital prices, nutritional information, dietary restrictions.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
And when you're shopping along with an app, like eventually be able to communicate with your smartphone. So if you have a grocery list and you need rice-a-roni, and you're looking for the specific garlic and herb rice-a-roni, I have no idea if that's the flavor or not. But you can, like, it will highlight on the shelf when you get near it so that you can find your item quicker. Or it'll tell you if there's an item that doesn't work with your dietary restriction. If you're gluten-free, but it's got gluten in it, it'll let you know. No, this, I don't know if it does
That's
that.
cool.
But there'll be some kind of a, maybe a red light that says don't take this item or something like that. But it's really kind of fascinating, the technology. Kroger's getting super aggressive to try to compete with Amazon and Whole Foods and Walmart and the other spaces and stuff. So kind of interesting.
And then ultimately, with that kind of NFC technology, you will see marketers saying, "Hey, you're picking up your rice-a-roni. You should also buy this."
Right.
And,
Yeah, suggestions and coupons and Yeah, then that's when you start to get creeped out because it's too much information that they know about you, right? So let's talk about story number 4. Montana, big sky country.
It is big sky country.
So net neutrality was repealed by the FCC. A lot of people were up in arms. Burger King this week released a video talking about net neutrality because a lot of people don't understand. They just hear it in the news, but they don't understand really what it means.
Yep.
So did you see the Burger King video?
I did, yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a nice way to communicate a complex issue. It was also fun. That's kind of the main 2 tracks of video marketing, right? It's got to be fun, it's got to be engaging, and you got to learn something, or it's got to be something surprising. For me, I think I would love to see more marketing and more explanation videos that are consumable for the layman to understand what net neutrality is all about, because it has huge ramifications to the internet as a whole, and how we interact with things, whether it's watching movies through Netflix or whatever it is. It's just it can potentially have huge impact on everything that we do in a negative way.
Yeah, exactly, because you might have to pay more to access specific content, or those content providers might have to pay more just to be able to deliver it to you, which would drive costs up and all. The Burger King video explains it. Just Google Burger King net neutrality and make sure you spell neutrality correctly.
Click the link in our update.
Oh yeah, well it's there too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you spell neutrality and it starts looking like neutrality, and that's a whole different thing on Google.
One of the things I really liked about the Burger King stunt was, because that's what I kind of view it as a stunt, but it was a little unexpected. I think that was part of its appeal, is that a lot of these conversations about net neutrality were going on in kind of more technology-oriented spheres like Twitter, social media, major media folks. But I mean, if you think net neutrality and burgers, Whoppers, but because Burger King relies on the internet to cultivate community conversations and reach that audience, it makes total sense. And net neutrality, like you guys were saying, it's so huge that it affects all of us. But I don't think people were going to the Burger King counter expecting to be confronted with something about net neutrality, and that made it all the more effective.
It made it very entertaining. And Montana is trying to jump in and actually become the first state to deal with net neutrality on a state level. FCC repealed it on a federal level. Montana has made their own laws that say effective July 1st, anybody that's got a government contract with the state of Montana has to follow these net neutrality rules and make it basically equal for everyone, the speeds that they receive content and all the net neutrality stuff. So it's kind of interesting. The FCC put in their repeal what they thought was enough language that would make it not likely that a state could pull this off, but Montana thinks they've got a loophole. So everybody's watching Montana, which is good for the ranchers.
Why Montana?
I don't know.
Do we know?
I have no idea.
Why not Montana?
Sure.
Boom.
Absolutely. Yes.
Boom.
Thank you, AJ.
And that takes us to number 5, the 5th story that matters.
Okay.
Because if there's a big boom, you need to see a doctor.
Yeah.
And
nice segue.
Apple is taking. Well, I mean, was there another way to do it?
No.
Apple. Well, I mean, if you drop the hammer, boom, then you also need to see the doctor because you probably hit your thumb if you have handy skills like me. So yes, Apple Health in the beta that was released for iOS 11.3, Apple Health is going to include a test in some areas with like 10 different hospitals, including one in Chicago, I believe, in San Francisco and some of the big hospitals. They are going to be able to coordinate patient records with Apple Health. So a lot of providers, there's like a portal you can log into that has all your health records. You can see doctor visits, you can see labs, you can see medications and things like that. So Apple is going to integrate those portals into Apple Health, which is interesting. A lot of first reaction is, well, what happens if my phone gets stolen and all my information is on there? They're going to encrypt it, and I'm sure they're going to do Touch ID and Face ID, and so only your face can unlock your health records, unless, of course, one of your health records is you visited a plastic surgeon. I don't know how that plays into it. I think it's still supposed to work with Face ID. No? All right. So it should be kind of interesting. They really have been trying to get into the medical space because like they're trying to do glucose monitoring with Apple Watch. They're trying to do heart rate monitoring because like if you have your Apple Watch on, it can continually monitor your heart rate. So it can also monitor like if there's an irregularity in your heart rate and maybe prevent things like a heart attack from happening or get help quicker. So there's a lot of money to be made in that space, and Apple wants to get involved.
It's interesting. I mean, we've heard of I think in a roundabout way of how Apple Health really wants to integrate with the whole health system as a whole, whether it's just tracking or just creating no barriers between all those different touch points that you have to go through when you're hospitalized or when you're using different services, because we all know what a hassle it can be if you're changing doctors or you have to go in for something and they have to send this over there and this and this and this. So
you got to access your health records and it takes days or weeks. Yeah.
So
you can just like AirPlay it to them.
Yeah.
AirPlay your medication list.
Yeah.
No. Huh? So I'm to talk about retail campaigns that rock with the guitarist there.
It's on my shoulder.
Do you have another guitarist on the other shoulder that says, "It's time to rock out," and the other one's like, "No, man, we need jazz music."
Yes.
So we want to talk about Kind bars. They are releasing a line of protein bars. Protein category is insane right now. I had some stats on here. 71 people say that they want more protein in their diets, and so there's a ton of competition in this space.
Yeah.
So they've done a campaign that is kind of two-pronged. One of them is they partnered with Funny or Die and Anna Faris to read actual reviews from competitors' products. So the other people like Cliff Bars and Quest Bars and whatever other protein bars are out there, Anna's reading reviews just like mean celebrity tweets on Jimmy Kimmel. We would play a video for you, but it is not appropriate for this broadcast. Yeah. It's pretty rough. But you can see that there are some interesting searches of, why do protein bars taste chalky? Why do protein bars give me diarrhea? So there's a lot of issues maybe with protein bars of the past, and they're trying to say, hey, look, our first ingredient is nuts and whatever other organic kind of stuff they put in there. So in addition to the video they did with Funny or Die, they have a campaign where they're asking people to sign up, and the first 10,000 people that signed up, they're going to send their new protein bars and the competitors' bars to do a side-by-side taste test. And I think they're also sending reviews that similar to what Anna Faris reads in the video. So it's a pretty edgy, kind of in-your-face campaign.
What a great way to get quantitative data from your audience too, from your different audience segments. If you're actually sending them products to do a comparison and everything, so you can glean a lot from your audience about. You can use it for R&D, you can use it for targeting, you can use it for all this kind of cool stuff that when you have that kind of data. So that's a cool way to do it.
What do you think? Is it too edgy? Are there some should more brands be doing campaigns that are more in your face like this, or is it some brands should be careful?
I think it's on a case-by-case basis for sure. I don't think it's right for every single brand, but I think what I like about I've always liked Kind's marketing. I think they're on the forefront of some of the things that you can do from a marketing perspective. But this particular campaign, they have to have a lot of faith in their product, a lot of faith. So I mean, just the act of being willing to do the side-by-side comparison and that we're going to actually give you the competitor's product in addition to our own. I mean, that in and of itself says we stand behind this product, but then they're opening Pandora's box. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I assume there's some kind of hashtag, some kind of conversation gathering tool. that they don't know what they're gonna get. They could be, it could be the same comments we're seeing up here. Why do your bars taste so bad? Why do they make me gassy?
I had a nickel.
Yeah, but I mean the cool thing is that they can already, they know the market space they're working within, so they can kind of address any kind of pain points that they think might come up too.
Yeah, my guess is they have a lot of market research that supports, the reasons they got into the protein bar space, and saying that people really dislike the products that are out there to the point where they're searching for things like this.
Right.
And so there's probably enough evidence to support them being this edgy. There's obviously the reviews that are out there of the other products. So yeah, they must stand by theirs pretty well.
I'm very surprised too that it seems like a category that has a lot of passionate followers or passionate customers. If there's this much conversation out there about their different products and different brands, I mean, it's a big category, I guess.
And if 71% of people are looking for more protein in
that's
the
a lot of
diet,
growth.
there's a lot of growth there as well, for sure. So we'll try to share on each month a campaign that we find interesting or cool or different, and try to share that with you. This was one we thought was cool this month. Britton blog. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so just quickly, we want to go through some of the things that we talked about on the blog this month. One of our copywriters wrote a blog about how to market unmentionables, how to market products that are taboo or otherwise sensitive subject matter. So check it out. It's got a lot of good examples of brands that are doing a really good job in there. One of the more notable examples over the last few years and more visible campaigns has been through Old Spice, but there's some other great brands featured in this case study as well. We also had our monthly design feature, which is always kind of something that blows me away because we do have so many awesome creatives here at Britton, and visual design is something that we do really well. So it's always we're always very fascinating to see what they come up with. This month. One of our designers came up with a string art project. So this is actually the whole. I got a piece of wood, and I'm hammering in
there's little nails
nails,
here.
and
It's
I'm
crazy.
doing strings around them to make these words. And it's super intricate. It's super awesome. These are all downloadable for whatever device you have, iPhone, iPad.
When she was doing
screensaver.
the nails in the wood, did she hit her thumb with the hammer and have to use the Apple Health app to record a doctor visit?
We're moving forward, not backwards. Forward.
Sometimes it's good to look past so that you can, in the past, so you can learn
Forward.
going forward, like what jokes not to make.
True. Yes, absolutely. So go to BrittonMDG.com/blog, and this is one of our latest blogs here this week. So lightning round.
This
Nice
sounds
clip
intimidating.
art. We are designers here, and we take pride in our design sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes we do it on the fly. So, but let's go. What's the lightning round?
So we want to talk about some of the other stories you can find on the Britton Digital Update blog this week at BrittonMDG.com. So some of the other links and stuff that are there. Netflix saw insane growth. Their fourth quarter was like their biggest fourth quarter ever, when people thought, oh my gosh, there's so much competition now between Hulu and Disney's going to put a competitor in there with their own streaming service and Sling TV and all that. They're growing faster than they ever have. Kohl's is going to be leasing some space out to other stores, which is kind of interesting. Like they might have some Kohl's stores that have a grocery store section.
Yep.
Whether it's Whole Foods and a partnership with Amazon, whether it's Kroger or somebody else, they might have some that have a hardware store in there. Really kind of fascinating, the collaboration that might be coming for some retailers trying to find a way to get people into their store, make it one-stop shopping, things like that. So there's a bunch of other stories that are in the Britton Digital Update every week, not necessarily cover all here in the live stream, but there's more at BrittonMDG.com. So we want to know Restreaming. Like we always talk about like cool shows like here in our office, but like what are you guys streaming right now? What's cool? What should we be watching?
I have some catching up to do. So I have my streaming list is quite extensive. I need to dedicate myself more to binge watching in 2018. So
Yeah.
that's one of my goals.
Netflix thinks so as well.
Yeah. So there's some things that I want to get into. Peaky Blinders on Netflix.
Mhm.
I still want to see The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. The only comedy I'm trying to get into is The Good Place.
Oh, that's good.
So
I just finished that last week, I think.
okay.
It's good.
So,
You'll like it. Well, I like that the episodes are like 20 minutes
Yeah.
long. Super digestible.
Makes it easy to binge watch more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. What about? That's about it for me.
What about you? What are you watching right now?
Oh, well. I'm also behind. Let's see. When did Lost come out? 2006?
Doesn't
2005?
have to be a current show.
Yeah, so I'm watching Lost for the
Doesn't
first
have to
time
be Game
ever.
Of Thrones.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So I'm watching that.
Did you
and
get to
then,
the part where they're lost?
Yeah, that was episode 1. Yeah.
That's the only episode
And
I
they
watched.
tell you, like, all the time, like, at the beginning, there's this weird...
Oh my gosh, we're
fuzzy-
lost.
Yeah. It seems like the only person who isn't lost is Locke, who's like, oh, I'm right where I need to be. I've been found. And then quick plug for a movie called The Young Victoria on Netflix. If you haven't checked that out, it's on Netflix, one of my favorite movies. I've been talking it up to Michelle, our copywriter. It's really great. I don't really like period pieces, but it's kind of a period movie with Emily Blunt, if you're an Emily Blunt fan. But it's
So do you watch The Crown then?
fabulous. I have not watched The Crown.
It's period piece.
We watch so much TV in our
The
house.
The Crown
that
is more of a question mark piece than a period piece.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for me, it's episodes with Matt LeBlanc. I don't know if it was a Showtime show. I don't even know if it's still on. There's like 5 seasons, I think, that came to Netflix in the last couple of months. And the writing is really good. It's a comedy. It's adult. Do not watch it with kids around, like a lot of the shows on Netflix that are popular. But the writing is really good. Matt LeBlanc actually plays himself. He plays Matt LeBlanc, the guy that was on Friends. And it's really, really, really funny. There was another show I watched called Glitch, which was an Australian show. And it was...
Hey, mate.
Yeah, they did. Well, they did say "mate" a lot, and they did talk with an accent, and it was not a British accent. But Glitch was about like I guess people come back from the dead, like they just start crawling out of their graves, and they're not zombies; they're normal, and they're trying to figure out why. And there's like 2 seasons of it, I think, and I don't think they ever found out why, but it is kind of interesting. But I think because it's still going on.
Right.
So, what else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else we're watching.
There was that big This Is Us episode that had everybody in tears.
Let me tell you,
I didn't see
box of tissues right here.
It will
Dave doesn't
forever.
watch the
I
show,
cry
so
with
he's
everything.
just
It will
lying.
forever change
The other
how
day,
you view a crock
oh my gosh, yeah, like
Oh, the
there were
crock
people
pot.
throwing
The
out
crock
their
pot.
crock
episode.
pots.
Yeah, there are people
Well,
throwing out their crock pots.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry about that.
Just like everybody's beating up their Keurigs or whatever.
There's
Now they're
tears-
taking a hammer. to
Tears
their-
streaming down my face. It was,
Crock pot.
and then like it was like the episode of The Wall the other day, the game show, and like they lost all their money, and I was bawling, and then followed by This Is Us, and I was like, are you kidding me? How much can I take in one day?
It was a rough night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I didn't get Final Jeopardy either, so that was pretty.
Moving on.
So the Britton Digital Update, if you would like to not just read it at BrittonMDG.com, you can also listen to it. We do a podcast version, which you can find on SoundCloud. You can download on iTunes and hit subscribe, and then you get it every 2 weeks when we do a new podcast, so you can stay up to date. Because we only do the live stream once a month, so there's more on the podcast, more value there. So we just wanted to say thanks for watching. Like if you enjoyed it, thanks. I guess. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're not doing it. You're not supposed to do it like that.
No.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So we'll be back here the last Friday in February with a new batch of top stories and retail campaigns and good stuff, Britton branded content, and hopefully we'll have a good engaging discussion then. So long from the
Thanks.
observatory. Thanks for tuning in.